Hi, this is Chuck Hester at WRAL TechWire and our continued series on tech startups to watch from the NC Tech Awards, which are coming up the first week in December. Pleasure to have Jared Pello, who is the co-founder of Bionic Health, with me today. Jared, welcome.
Chuck, thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So, want to find out more about Bionic Health, what you're doing, how it got started. So, let's start there.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun. So I have a co-founder, Robbie Allen, and he's the technical lead. I'm the medical lead. And we both built startups in this ecosystem before. I built a startup called iScribes that was acquired by Nuance Communications and now owned by Microsoft. And that was an AI scribing company. And Robbie, of course, built Automated Insights, which was an AI company. And so we really brought together our two passions, AI and medicine. And we're trying to build what we believe healthcare should look like. And it doesn't look very proactive or personalized for most people when they go to their doctor today. And we're trying to build tools that make it proactive and personal for everyone.
That's excellent. And how long has the company been around?
So we've been around for about 18 months now.
Okay. And your funding came from?
We have multiple investors, really Idea Fund, locally, Tweener Fund as well. And then we have some investors from New York City, including BetaWorks, Graycroft, and some other funders across the spectrum, and many angels that are local as well.
Very cool. So describe Bionic Health. Tell us more about the products. I've had a chance to take a look at the website. Some really cool things going on. I know you have two tiers of service, but
Yeah.
describe what it is.
Yeah, so what it is it's a personalized health doctor and coach for anyone in about 20 states now. And so somebody will purchase the product, download the app, and it'll take them step by step through what we call the bionic journey. And that will include a health intake with one of our health coaches. It includes a deeper set of lab tests than you've ever had probably before. And then you'll meet with a physician who comes up with a journey along with you. So if you have a history of dementia in your family, then we're going to talk about brain health and how do we make sure you don't get dementia, because really our goal, we kind of simplify health to a few things. First, it's don't die. And so how do we look at risk of disease that you might get and lower that risk? And unlike a typical doctor that looks 5 or 10 years out, we actually look 30 years out or even lifetime risk. And then we try to get you working out, eating right, living the best life you can now. And we know for everyone that means behavior change. And it's hard and slow. And that's why we built tools to help people do that. And then of course we use the latest science, and we've got amazing kind of medical advisors across the board. Dr. Manesh Patel, head of Duke Cardiology. He helps us build our heart health. We have Dr. Jane Minkin, who is a world-renowned hormone specialist from Yale, who helps us with our female hormones. We've got a geneticist from Harvard that helps us on that side. So we've got advisors in all these specialty fields, for your brain health, your heart health, cancer screening, kind of all the things that we think are most important for keeping you healthy and strong as long as possible.
And you're a subscription service. Is that a fair way to
That's right.
describe it?
That's right.
Okay.
We're a subscription service. We're covered by your health savings account. We don't go through your insurance yet. That's something that we're going to be working on this next year, is working how to work with employers and payers and things like that.
Yeah, very cool. And how many customers are currently?
Currently, we have around 300 customers.
Okay. And let's talk a little bit about the ecosystem within both Raleigh. I hate the term Raleigh Durham, but Raleigh Durham, the Triangle area, Wilmington. Just had an interview with a startup in Asheville as well. So we're all familiar with third, fourth quarter of 2003, the freeze, quote unquote, that has gone on, and it seems to be thawing out from talking to some people. What is your perspective on the ecosystems that are in North Carolina? Because I mean, it's from what I'm seeing, it's starting to heat up, but I'd love to
Yeah.
hear your perspective.
I'm a big believer in the startup ecosystem here. I moved to North Carolina for the startup ecosystem. I was living in Lynchburg, Virginia when I decided to start my first startup and came down here, started at Groundwork Labs, which is now NC Idea Labs, and started that first startup in the basement of American Underground. And it's been so neat over the last decade to watch it flourish and grow. And there are some, stalwarts in the area. One of those is my co-founder, Ravi. And his partner, Scott Wingo at the Tweener Fund, really just great mentors and great people in the area. And I think we continue to see people moving here from Austin, San Francisco, New York City, trying to have that better work-life balance and really finding a great tech startup ecosystem here in the Triangle.
That's awesome. So if advice for startups that are considering splitting up, I mean, how do you go about that? What's the best way to do that? You know, advice on how to get it going. I mean, you've got folks who are going to be seeing this interview and they'll say, okay, this is cool. I like this idea. I've got a great idea, but now what?
Yeah, it's so interesting. I was talking with someone the other day. We were talking about great ideas, and it's really not the idea that makes the difference. It's the execution that makes the difference. And I actually think that's one of our strengths in the area is we're not flush with cash. It's not like there are tons of VCs and tons of angels in the area. So really, if a startup makes it in the Triangle, it's a good business. And that's what I'll generally tell people when they first want to start a business is I'll say, okay, it's got to be a fundamentally good business. You need to know that the market wants it, the market wants to pay for it, and then you have to work on the fundamentals. And I think if you do those things and you really try to push towards, cash flow positive as quickly as possible, because in the Triangle, we do get investors from the outside who come here, but it's not like all the time or everyone or that it's easy, which means that you have to be good at the fundamentals and you have to build a really good business. And of course, we see great businesses, Bandwidth, Pendo, Red Hat, like we've had great businesses built here and we'll continue to have great businesses built here. But when you look at those businesses, they had great fundamentals. And so that means you build a product people want, you focus and you keep your burn pretty low, and you push to cash flow positive as quickly as possible.
Yeah, excellent. Trends in the startup community, what do you see? Obviously AI. One interview I just did was on VR.
Yeah.
But what are you seeing as, the technologies that are up and coming in the next several quarters?
Yeah, I think AI will continue it's almost like the internet boom. So the internet boom lasted for 15 years. I think the AI boom will last for a long time.
Mhm.
And I think that's the number one place that we'll continue to see things. It's so much easier to start a startup in this AI boom that it's going to be harder than ever to get kind of attention, so that means you have to build a really great product. And if you're going to build a product with AI, which it's interesting because I talked a lot about Bionic Health. I didn't really talk about how we use AI. And it's because it's not important to our customers. Our customers don't really care if we're making doctors more efficient or better using AI. Our customers care that they receive amazing healthcare and that they're getting the outcomes they want. And so what I would tell people is, yeah, if you're going to build in the AI space, you have to make sure that you're not just doing a neat trick, because you can build a demo really quickly with AI now, but what you have to build is a product that people really want. So I think AI will continue to be huge. I think the other interesting places is all the periphery of AI. And so how do you make data AI ready? How do you free up data? Our fundamental belief at Bionic is that AI will continue to become more intelligent, more trustworthy. And if that's the case, then the question is, how do we get all the context that we need for the AI to make good decisions? And so I think there's some really interesting areas around data and freeing up data and breaking down silos around data that is interesting to solve.
That's Jared, we greatly appreciate you taking the time today. Congratulations to you and Robbie and your team on the award. Look forward to seeing you in December.
Awesome. Thanks, Chuck.